sorry I can't talk to you in your own language, as Comrade Narasimha has spoken. So I have to speak to you a foreign language, unfortunately. Anyway, I have visited just at this moment because of the serious situation that is going on in the steel plant. You know that the Vizag Steel plant was decided to be sold out, and they more or less decided the client also, customer also, whom they want to sell. But they could not, because last 4 years, the entire workers, all unions together, are holding programs, agitations, dharna, and particularly I will request you to kindly take note of the thing. During these 4 years, not even a single minute's production time was disturbed. Workers in their own period, after their shift, in their recess hour, they are mobilizing, belong and carrying on at dharna without disturbing the plant production even for a minute. Because they understand, they know that we have to keep, not only save the plant, but keep the plant, continue its productive operation. And that is how last 4 years they could not do it. There are many problems being faced by the plant. And the problems are created by the government, deliberately, intentionally, with a sabotaging approach. All the private steel plants are having their captive mines. But Vizag Steel plant, being a public sector steel plant, don't have captive mines. Although Andhra Pradesh region, United Andhra Pradesh, I must say, they are full of mines. But they don't have any captive steel plant, iron ore mine. They don't have any captive coal mines. These coal and iron ore are the two indispensable raw material for steel making. Indispensable. They did not, government is deliberately not allowing. Deliberately. They are auctioning, but not allowing Vizag Steel plant to participate in the auction. They are auctioning deliberately so that it should die without raw material, it should or come down to our bad state, and then it will be easier for them to hand over the steel plant to the private player, their chosen private player, almost free of cost. Just the manner they have handed over Air India to Tata. The same, the sabotaging approach, disruptionary approach that this government is adopting, and against that they are fighting, and so they are keeping the production on without disturbing the production. They are saving, they saved their steel plant, and because of that, not only workers, even their managers, CMDs, they are enjoying a life. It is but for the workers. And now the situation has so created, because of the determined situation of the workers, mind of the workers, to save the plant, they tried to create a kind of further disturbance, further trouble, and an atmosphere of terror. Without any provocation, they terminated the contract workers who are working in plant production process. Today, if all contract workers are withdrawn from Vizag, I can give a challenge both the steel minister or the steel plant management. They will not be able to run their production if all the contract workers are withdrawn from the operational place. They creating provocation, throwing out contract workers without any notice, and how they are throwing out? They are violating the law of the land. Criminally, a public sector management violating the law of the land. They are just denying gate pass to them. so they cannot enter the plant. It is not that employer has terminated them just. It is creating a position so that they cannot come to work and then they can be out. This conspiratorial exercise, a government-owned management, through them they are doing it. And on the other hand, when workers are opposing, workers are agitating against that, within the plant, in their recess hours, again, let me tell you, till now, not disturbing the production position, not disturbing the shop floor work. Within the plant, when in their own recess hour, they are protesting against that. If you take my job away, shall I not protest? And regular workers, they also know that without contract worker, we cannot run the plant. So they are also supporting them. So it never happened right from the inception of Vizag Steel plant or any other public sector steel plant. During their recess hour, they are agitating, and for that their leaders were suspended, issued show cause notice, and it never happened. This was never a culture. They only want to create that disturbing situation. Rather, they are pushing the workers so that production gets disrupted and they could make it their own way or handing it over to others. This is the conspiracy. It is just not an attack on the workers. It is attack on the country's economy. It is attack on the national steel industry in public sector. As an institution which gives them bread and butter, those managers who are doing all these things, that gives them bread and butter, and they want to sabotage its operation, sabotage its normal functioning by this kind of heinous, vindictive action. This is what needs to be exposed everywhere. And that's why we came, the workers have decided, both regular workers and contract workers, to carry on their struggle. They understood the basic conspiracy. You create a situation of disturbance, get their production thing in turmoil, they will not give mines, they will not give anything, they will not create some facilities need to be created in shop floors for smooth running of production. These are the normal requirements. Time to time, in a time lag that need to be done. But for that, some capital expenditure is required. They are not allowing that capital expenditure to be done. Even the latest 11,000 crore that money was sanctioned, that is not with a clear direction. The minister himself was told that is not for capital investment in the plant operation. That is for rescheduling the loan. What is the meaning of that rescheduling of loan? That loan liability of the company will get reduced and it will be easier to sell it to private guys. The price will go down. Who will benefit? Those who will be purchasing will benefit. Company will not benefit. Country's exchequer will not benefit. Because out of that exchequer, 11,000 crore has been given to reschedule the loan only, to make the steel plant liability come down so that it can become easily sellable. But there are a strict direction, it cannot be, expenditure cannot be made out of this money for capital investments or repair, for maintenance of the plant. Ekdam written right. This is the criminality and conspiratorial thing the government of India is making against its own plan. But it is not only government of India's plan. It is the people's plan. For this Vizag Steel plant establishing, there was agitation by the Andhra people. There are martyrdom. People are killed in that agitation. And thereafter Vizag Steel plant came into being. So it is not, since it is a public sector, it is not government of India's paternal property. It is a property of the people. That is what is a government company means. So people will not allow that to happen. And on behalf of the people, the workers, both regular and contract, they are determined to carry on their struggle. And so, against termination is one of the area of contract workers, is one of the area on which they are trying to create a disturbance, because they know that without plant workers, contract workers, the plant operation cannot be fully effectively run. Creating, so the contract workers on protest are going in for strike to make them understand that without us you cannot run the plant. But at the same time they are conscious that overall plant production is not permanently disturbed. And since regular workers unions are supporting them, they are trying to management terrorize them by charge sheet suspension for holding agitation inside the plant in their own recess hour without disturbing the production. It never happened. They started this game plan, and some of the managers are picked up by these NDA guys to create that kind of a disturbance. Not all. Not all. And they are pressurizing. So against that, regular workers are also participating as a solidarity force to their struggle, and on that this struggle is the important turning point of the struggle during last 4 years. It is an integral part of saving the steel plant for Andhra, this Andhra-based steel plant. And in the southern India, the only public sector integrated steel plant is there. So to saving it, it is a part of that struggle today. It is just not against charge sheet suspension, termination. It is the part of that struggle, and they are going. And already in all the steel plants of the country, sales plants, others, they have started demonstration in support of the Vizag struggle. Already 3-4 plants, I got the report, the day the suspension and charge sheet are issued and termination order was issued, they started agitating, going on, and ultimately the entire steel worker will be planning to observe a day of solidarity, but almost day to day they are carrying on their solidarity agitation to send a message to government that entire steel workers of the country, public sector steel workers, are in close support of the Vizag steel plant workers, both regular and non-contract. It is a part of that battle, and that's why on that behalf I came here during my other activities today to address their meeting, to address our comrades, to address the late meeting. I have heard that police is local administration naturally. Today Andhra is led by the NDA guys. They are a part of the conspiracy of selling out its own steel plant in the country. I think people must take a view of this anti-public sector, anti-state conspiracy of the state's own government whom the people have elected. They must take a lesson. And that's why they are creating problem. They are not giving permission, but yet the meeting will be held and we have to carry on our struggle. We request you to kindly, among all others, whatever issue you deem fit, but this aspect you need to give wide coverage to the people. If at all we are serious that this steel plant must be safe, it must be functional, it must be efficiently productive. In terms of otherwise efficiency, I am telling you this can be one of the best productive steel plant in the country. After latest modernization, if they get a mine, iron ore mine and coal mine, if they can reduce their raw material cost. I am telling you, the comparison is If you purchase iron ore mine from the market, you have to purchase 4,000 to 6,000 rupees a ton. But if you have your captive mines, your per ton expenditure towards mine will reduce to 600 rupees. This is the difference. And that's why 600 to 4,000, this conspiracy to burden the plant, otherwise it can become the best steel plant. Such a potential steel plant, they are trying to hand it over to some of their parents in the private corporate sector. Please save the country and save the state from this nasty, heinous conspiracy. Public sector, Vizag Steel plant should be in public sector and it should continue to run operationally, and only workers' movement can ensure that. Till now they could save it in that, and आगे भी this struggle will continue. We cannot leave. That was our understanding. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.